In today's session, we are going to see what are integers. So, first, let us know what are positive numbers. The numbers which are having the sign plus are called positive numbers. Suppose, for example, let us take plus 2, plus 3, plus 4, plus 7 and so on. These are all called positive numbers. So, if a number has a positive sign, that means a plus before the number, we are calling it as positive numbers. Let us know what are negative numbers. The numbers which have negative sign, that means minus before the number, are called negative numbers. For example, minus 2, minus 3, minus 10, minus 12 and so on. Why you are keeping so on here? Because the numbers are infinite. So we are using so on here. Now let us see what our integers actually mean. The combination of positive numbers and negative numbers including 0 are called integers. So now let us see it. What are integers? The combination, that means both positive numbers and negative numbers, we have to include 0 also. So the combination of both positive and negative numbers are called including 0. Don't forget, we have to include 0 also. 0 is neither a positive number nor a negative number, but 0 included in integers are called integers. So now we can show integers on the number line as we have shown previously the natural numbers and whole numbers on the number line. Let us see the integers on the number line. In order to show a number line, we have to draw a number line. Number line is nothing but a line which consists of numbers. So we have taken a number line here, and first we have to mark 0 on the number line. To the right of 0, that means to the right side of 0, we are writing positive numbers. So if you observe, to the right side of 0, we have all represented only the positive numbers, and to the left side of 0, we are representing negative numbers. Negative numbers we are representing starting from minus 1, minus 2, minus 3 and minus 4 and so on. As we have already said, so on means we have infinite number here. So we can't represent all the numbers on the number line. We are using so on. So 0 is included in the middle, and to the right side of 0 we have represented positive numbers. To the left side of 0 we have represented negative numbers, and we have shown here infinite symbol also as the numbers are infinite. Now let us see where normally we use these integers in our life. In our daily life, suppose if we use the natural numbers for counting, we use, and for the whole numbers for the 0. So in integers where we use. So let us see now. Suppose we all know the banks. So we have deposited some amount in our bank. Then what happens? Whenever we have deposited amount, it shows plus symbol. Suppose if you have deposited 5,000 in your bank account, it shows the symbol as plus. That means plus is credited. 5,000 is credited into your bank. If you take some money, that means suppose 2,000 you have taken out, that means you have debited. So now for credits and debits we use integers. And for representing temperatures, suppose from this location we have the temperature as 25 degrees Celsius. Suppose in winter season always the temperature in minus. So in order to represent our temperatures we can use integers. And next we also use the integers to represent the sea level. To represent the sea level, we use below the sea level, above the sea level. If we are representing below, we are using minus. Below the sea level means we are using minus, and above the sea level means we are using plus. So we can use positive numbers and negative numbers in order to represent the sea levels. So in this way we use our integers. Now let us see the properties of the integers. First property is closure property. Closure property we have addition, subtraction, multiplication and division. So let us see those properties one by one. So first we are seeing the closure property of integers under addition. So if a and b are integers, then a plus b should belongs to an integer. This is the belongs to symbol. And integers are represented by z. Z means Zelen. So now let us take some values for a and b. So here I am taking a as 3 and b as 7. Your choice of taking your examples. I am assigning the numbers to these variables. So substitute these numbers in the condition, that is a plus b, which is 3 plus 7 equals to 10. So 10 is an integer. So closure property is satisfied. Now let us take some negative values also, so that it will be easy for you to understand. In the previous example I have taken all positives. In the next example I am taking a as negative symbol, that is minus 2, and b as 6. Now substituting these values in a plus b condition, which is minus 2 plus 6, which gives 4. 4 belongs to an integer because 4 is a positive integer. So closure property of integers is satisfied under addition. Now let us see for the subtractions. Closure properties under subtraction. Now a comma b belongs to z. As it is a subtraction, a minus b. Instead of plus we have to take minus b. So let us take a as 7 and b as minus 3. You can take your own examples. You can take all positive numbers or negative numbers or both positive or negative numbers. So here I have taken a one positive and b one negative. So now substitute these values in condition a minus b. So 7 minus, and b is minus 3. So 7 minus of minus 3. Minus bracket always represents into. So minus into minus equals to plus. This I will provide the link here so that you can know it. So 7 plus 3 gives 10. 10 belongs to an integer. So closure property of subtraction is satisfied. Now let us see the multiplication. Now let us see the closure property of integers under multiplication. Here also the same, instead of subtraction symbol we have to use multiplication symbol. That is a comma b belongs to z. A cross b also belongs to z. Z is nothing but integers. So let us take a as minus 2 and b as 3. Now substitute these values in a cross b belongs to z. Now minus 2 into 3 gives, here one is positive symbol, other one is negative. So 2 into 3 gives 6 and minus into plus gives minus. So minus 6 belongs to z. So multiplication is also satisfied. Now let us go for the next one, that is division. Now we have to check the closure property of integers under division. Let us take values. Already we know the condition. If a comma b belongs to z, a divided b should belongs to z. If it is belongs to z, then it is satisfied. Now let us take the values a as 7 and b as 10. Now what we have to do, substitute these values in that condition. That is 7 divided by 10. 7 divided by 10 gives 0.7, that means 0.7, which is a decimal number. In integers we have only positive, negative numbers including 0, but we don't have decimal values, so it is not belongs to Z. So the closure property of integers under division is not satisfied. So let us see now what are the conditions of it is satisfied. In closure property, addition is satisfied, subtraction of integers is satisfied, and the multiplication of integers is also satisfied. And only division is not satisfied in closure property. Now let us see the commutative property. First we see addition now and then subtraction. So here also for the commutative property, the condition is if A comma B belongs to Z, A plus B equals to B plus A. This is the condition. If this condition is satisfied, then our commutative property under addition is satisfied. Now let us check with some examples. Let take A as 6 and B as minus 2. Here I am taking one positive and one negative value. Next, substituting these values in A plus B equals to B plus A value is 6 and B value is minus 2. So you have to get the number with sign. So don't forget to bring that with sign. 6 minus 2 gives 4. 4 is a positive number which belongs to an integer. Next, let us check for B plus A. B is minus 2 and our value of A is 6 with sign. Minus 2 plus 6 gives 4. If you observe, the value of A plus B and B plus A are equal. Therefore, A plus B equals to B plus A. That means our condition, commutative property of integers under addition is satisfied. Now let us go for the subtraction. Here also the condition is if A comma B belongs to Z, A minus B equals to B minus A. Here also I am taking some examples. Let us take A as 7 and B as 20. So now we have to substitute A and B values in A minus B and B minus A to check whether this will satisfy the condition or not. So 7 minus 20. One is positive, other one is negative. So what we have to do? We have to do the subtraction. 7 minus 20 gives 13 and the biggest number is containing the sign minus. So answer is minus 13. Now let us take for B minus A. For B minus A, B value is 20 and A value is 7. So 20 minus 7. Our A value is 7. So substitute in that. 20 minus 7 gives 13. If you observe, here we got plus 13 and for A minus B it is minus 13. Our values of A minus B is not equals to B minus A, as the numbers are same, but if you see the signs for A minus B and B minus A is not equal. So commutative property of integers under subtraction is not satisfied. Now let us check for multiplication and division now. Here also the condition is, yes, A comma B belongs to Z, then A cross B equals to B cross A. This is the condition. Now I have taken A as 3 and B as minus 5. Substituting these values in A cross B first. So let us start substituting A cross B. So which is 3 into minus 5. Don't forget to get the sign also. So plus 3 and minus 5. If there is no sign before a number, it means it is containing plus, positive sign. minus into plus gives minus. So first we are multiplying the numbers. 3, 5 is 15 and plus into minus gives minus. So minus 15 is our answer. That means is our result. Now let us check for B cross A. For B cross A, what we have to do? We have to substitute the values. B cross A equals to, our B value is minus 5. So minus 5 into value is 3. Minus 5 into 3 equals to, here also first we are multiplying the numbers, that is 5 into 3 gives 15, and minus into plus or plus into minus gives minus. So if you observe, A cross B got minus 15 and B cross A also got minus 15. So both are equal. That means commutative property of multiplication is satisfied. Now let us check for the division. For division, what is the condition? If A comma B belongs to Z, A divided by B equals to B divided by A. This is our condition. Now let us take A as 3 and B as minus 5. Now what we have to do? We have to substitute these values in A divided by B. So our A is 3 and divided by symbol, and don't forget to get the sign, that is minus 5. In the same way, B divided by A. So I am taking B divided by A now. B value is minus 5 and the symbol is divided by, and the sign for 3 is plus. So now if we divide the A divided by B, that means 3 divided by minus 5, which gives minus 0.6. And if you see the next one, that is B divided by A, it gives minus 1.6. If you observe, the values of A divided by B and B divided by A are not equal. So division of commutative is not satisfied. Now let us check what are the properties it satisfied. In commutative property, addition is satisfied. In commutative property of integers, addition is satisfied. Next, multiplication is satisfied. And next, there are no other. That means subtraction and the division are not satisfied. Now let us check for the identity property of integers. That is additive property. Now we are checking for the additive property of, first we are checking for the whole numbers. Then we will go for the integers, so that will give clear idea for you what is the difference between the whole numbers and integers. Suppose if I take a number 7, which number if you add to 7, it gives the result as 7? Obviously 0. So if we add 0 to the number 7, whole number, then it gives 7. So 0 is called additive identity, or we can also call it as, yes, identity of addition. Now let us check for the additive inverse. Now we are checking the additive inverse for integers. We know that 0 is the additive identity of whole numbers. Now we are checking for the additive inverse of integers. There is no additive inverse for whole numbers because there is no negative symbols in our whole numbers. Suppose if we have 7, and which number if you add to 7, it gives the result as 0? Obviously negative, the same, that means minus 7. If we add 7 minus 7, it gives the result as 0. So minus 7 is the additive inverse of the number 7. So additive inverse of any number is nothing but the same number with negative sign. or same number with the positive sign according to the number. So in general, the additive inverse we can call it as a plus of minus a equals to 0. So if the number is containing 7, the additive inverse is minus 7. Suppose if the number is containing minus 7, the additive inverse will be 7. That means change of the sign. Now let us check for the multiplicative identity. Here I have taken 7, and which number if you multiplied by 7 it gives 7? Obviously 1. So 1 is the multiplicative identity of, here we are first checking for the whole numbers. Okay, next let us check the multiplicative inverse. As we have already checked the additive inverse for the integers, now let us check whether it satisfies or not, whether there is a multiplicative inverse for integers or not. There will be no multiplicative inverse for integers. Let us see it through an example. Suppose if I have taken 7, why I am taking 7? You can take your own examples, but I am taking it 7 so that it will be easy for you to identify all the examples. So which number if you multiplied by 7 it gives 1? Obviously the inverse. That means inverse is nothing but numerator and denominator changes. So 1 by 7 is not belongs to z. If you observe, there is no fraction values in integers. So there is no multiplicative inverse for integers. There is only additive inverse and additive identity and multiplicative identity for integers, and there is no multiplicative inverse for the integers as there are no fraction values. Thank you for watching the video. If you like the video, please like, share and subscribe, and let me know in the comment section about this video. Thank you.